Hi, hello, welcome, Doodle Crew and Doodle Crew friends. We are back. Happy Saturday morning cartoons, even though it is not morning. It is morning somewhere. Happy Saturday morning to our West Coast friends. Let's do that. But yeah, we're back. And I think everybody has been having quite the art week. So we thought for this Saturday morning cartoon episode, we are going to go back to basics. So we are bringing back some of the fun fundamentals that we use, some fun basic drawing things that we've used in our past. Just we're going to take this nice and easy. But before we get into it, let's go around, introduce everybody, talk a little bit about what you're thinking of working on, and tell people where they can find you. So, Kia, we'll start with you.
So I'm Kia or Kia Creations, just about everywhere on social media, though mainly you can probably find me lurking around on Instagram. I don't post that often, but I do draw quite a lot. And today I'm going to be, again, going back to basics, my personal favorite, which is flower sacks. I just love doing the expressive poses of flower sacks and character flower sacks, so I'll probably be doing a bunch of those today as well. Yes. I might be doing some shapes, but yeah, flower sacks. Bread and butter.
Heck yeah. I love it. All right. And Megan, hello.
Hello. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
I am Megan Cook. You can find me as Megan C Creates on Instagram and most of the internets. Today, I'm going to be playing with some blobby shapes and then more determinate shapes. And then if I'm lucky, I'll get into some cross-hatching because that's one of my favorite drawing basics. So that's what we're doing.
Yay! That's awesome. I love it. And I feel like there's something else that we need to mention, that a thing that you're doing that might have started yesterday. Maybe a thing.
Oh yes. There is a thing that kind of launched on Kickstarter. Launching. So I started my Kawaii Tiger Year of the Tiger pins yesterday, launched on Kickstarter. I have the link in my link tree. And also on Instagram, I did a whole full across the profile post with my Kickstarter banner. So you guys can check that out. The Kickstarter runs for 17 more days and early bird deals are still available.
Woohoo! Yeah, love it. Excellent. All right. And returning once again, joining us again, Jeff Munn. Hello.
Hello, I'm Jeff. I'm going to kind of be doing the same thing that Megan's doing, where I just kind of make some blobby shapes and make something out of them. I'm not on social media very much anymore. I quit Twitter, so I'm not anymore. I kind of just lurk on Facebook and Instagram. Every once in a while I post, but otherwise I'm just kind of, the only way to really kind of get a hold of me is through my website, or which connects through my email. So
excellent. Well, you've also been, I feel like you've been working a ton recently.
I got a new job, so I'm teaching every evening from 6 to 10. And then I do freelance during the day. So yeah, I've kind of been very busy as of late. So that's kind of part of why I'm not on social media so much. But I also made the conscious effort to leave Twitter in August and never come back. So
I don't blame you, honestly. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. But if people really want to see a lot of your art stuff, you've got your Patreon.
I do, yeah, through Patreon / Pocket Science. And I've kind of neglected that a lot lately too. But hopefully, I'm going to be getting some good news this month that will kind of jumpstart that all over again. So fingers are crossed. So
yes, little flower sack ties crossed as well. And Sarah, hello, welcome back.
Hello. So I got the memo late that we were doing back to the basics. So I drew a bunch of Panthro from Thundercats and was kind of bummed out because I was really excited to paint some Panthros. And so I decided to semi-ignore the prompt except for the title of it. And I will show you what I'm working on.
I like it. It's Saturday. We're not too committed to the exact prompt.
So I'm doing a basic Panthro.
Oh, look at! He's so happy.
Oh, tell me that's a basic drink.
Absolutely. Very pumpkin. He's in his leggings. He's got his sweater that is very, very baggy, and Uggs, because can't be basic without the Uggs.
It's true. It's a necessary part of being basic.
It is
All
required.
right. And where can people find your artwork?
Mostly, I guess I should update my website. And Facebook.
Yeah. How do they find you on Facebook? I can never remember.
It's just my name.
Okay. That's easy. Because I already follow you, so I already know, but
And I guess through Doodle Crew, if you see like, I always like things, so you can just kind of follow me through all of that.
yeah, which again, that's a beautiful segue into shameless self-promotion of if you want to see more of Doodle Crew, follow us across the internet at Doodle Crew Draw. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter. Also, we have links to the link tree that we have for Doodle Crew, which has all of the contact info, all the ways you can find the amazing artists who join us on Doodle Crew, and a additional link that Mayor Squish set up to all of the guest artists that we have. So all of our new people who've joined us over the past almost year. We're coming up on our year anniversary, which I'm super excited about. Yeah. So you can follow me. I'm a swan named Emily. I am also going to be doing flower sacks because I love them and I have not drawn them in a very long time. So I'm definitely going to play around with that. It's funny because I taught a class this morning, a very intro to drawing class. So I got to draw some basics. We didn't draw any flower sacks though, but I did get to draw a motorcycle and Elsa and a triceratops with banana parts. So, your basic normal stuff. Yeah, Banana Tops was my favorite. I love him forever.
Sounds like a good collection.
It was yeah. I mean, I also had to teach the kids how to draw a gun because I swear I can't get through any little kid drawing class without teaching them how to draw a gun. So, yeah, but it's okay. Guardian Randy says, seeing Jeff's beans reminded me that I should eat something. Thanks for your beans, Jeff.
Yeah. Is that safe? Does that work safe?
Thanks for your beans? Let's say so.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I always love telling the kids because so the very beginning of the lesson I always start with is talking about my simple shapes. And, I talk circles, I talk squares, and then I wax poetic about how much I love the bean shape. And I swear, the kids don't remember anything else that I talk about, but they remember the weird Miss Emily who loves the bean shape. So.
I remember you. You like beans.
You like beans. You're that weird bean girl. Yes. Yes, I am, children.
Did they call you Miss Emily?
They do call me Miss Emily.
Oh, that's cute.
Yep. I think it's easier. And that's what we always did at the dance studio, so I kind of just took that to...
Oh, then like Miss Swan?
Yeah, Miss Swan sounds weird. I don't know.
Sounds regal, but possibly like a little bit more matronly.
Yeah, neither thing that I am. Regal or matronly. I was like, Miss Emily sounds way more accurate.
If you're your doctorate, then you can be Dr. Swan.
I could be Dr. Swan. Yeah, I think that ship has sailed. I don't think I'm going back to school for extended time. I had enough fun the first time around.
Reminds me of a story, like a post I saw probably on Tumblr where there was a classroom where the teacher called all the students Mr. or Miss and then their last name. And then there was a non-binary student and the professor was like, what am I supposed to do with that? I know, I'll call you Colonel. So all the students were like Mr. Jane Doe or Miss Jane Doe or Mr. Jane Doe. And then it's like Colonel Jane Doe. It was just
yeah. I
like,
love that.
Yeah, I'd accept being called Colonel.
Yep. Also, Guardian Randy. Yeah, thankfully a lot of the younger kids now don't remember Miss Swan from Mad TV, but they'll tell
I was
you
going
what.
to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I didn't want to age myself too much, but yeah, I totally remember.
Yeah.
You look like a man.
Yep. So ask me the most common phrases that were said to me in high school, because that was one of them, and stop looking at me, Swan was the other. So yeah. Any chance to go by Miss Emily, I'm like, that's easier. Let's do that. Yeah.
My favorite was when she was asking for a vegetarian salad. with a little bit of bacon. You didn't get that one?
I did not get that one. I mean, well, let me rephrase. I might have, but as soon as they would start it, I would stop listening because I hated it so much.
It's fair.
But I didn't watch Mad TV. So like I understood it as a reference to what it was, but not knowing the context, which is very strange. So since we're talking back to basics, I figured if we had it, not to put you on the spot because I didn't give any of you any prep for this, but what is something when people ask you to draw, I mean, ideally students and not just random passerbys, but I guess passerbys too. You know, when they ask you what's a basic technique that you like to share with people?
Turning something black and white to see if it
Ooh.
works, the color. Because a lot of people don't know that, but it's like a super handy thing.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
One of mine is something that, again, was taught to me was when you're drawing, always go in the same direction, even if it's little tiny strokes. Put your pen down, release, put it back at the top, go down. Like always go from top to bottom or in the direction that your arm would naturally go. Never scratch it like back and forth. Always just go like down, down, or up, up.
Huh.
And it's all about keeping the like fluidness of the motion of your pen. And then of course that goes into like, don't draw with your wrist, draw with your whole arm. Carpal tunnel.
Carpal tunnel! Hooray!
So yeah, always draw in this one direction and don't go scratchy, scratchy back and forth.
Interesting.
I was never told why.
What was that?
I was never told why doing that. Like, obviously, it's better for flow, but like they would just tell me that, and I had to like figure out, oh, the reason why is it looks nicer, it's easier, there were many reasons for that, but it was always just like, no, do it this way.
Yeah. Well,
But
I think that's something funny too, where there's part of me where I'm not questioning like why you're teaching me this thing. I just want to know why I'm doing it. I will still comply. I will still do it. I'd like to know the reason behind it. And I think that was tough sometimes because there was very much, depending on the art class we were in, it was just like, we'll just do this. And I'm like, okay, but why are we doing that? They're like, just do it though.
Because I said so.
I'm like, okay, I'm not fighting you on this. I'll do it. I just want to know more information.
So one of my things is, especially with anime drawings, like I tell people, if you've got a character with dark hair, don't go black with your color. Pick a very dark shade depending on your character. You can go in the red purple direction, or if you've got a character like Kagome from Inuyasha, you can go in the blue purple direction, but don't pick black.
That's good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember going over that too. And then also highlights are never white, shadows are never black. It's always the analogous color. So if it's purple, you go with a red purple for your highlights, blue purple for your shadows. Like,
Yep.
I remember learning that way after school and kind of figuring it out on my own. And it's like, wow, why didn't they teach us this in color theory?
You know, you think that would be useful?
Oh, gosh.
Right? It's like the analogous color scheme for shadows and highlights just makes so much sense.
I feel like too, at least for us, like we took color theory so early on. Like it was literally just like the theory of it. Like
it was the first quarter
yeah.
that I took. Yeah, it was and I had one of the worst teachers that literally spent a half an hour arguing with one of my friends how to pronounce his last name.
Oh, stop
like
it.
She thought she was right, and she's like, this is how you, because it's a very Slavic last name, and she's like, this is how you pronounce it. He goes, no, this is how my grandfather pronounced it, so this is how I'm going to pronounce it. And it went on for like a half an hour where it's like, can we learn? Like, I know that we have a 4-hour class and you have plenty of time and all, but can we learn something? And I think the only thing I learned was how to mix gouache in that entire class. It was ridiculous.
Oh gosh. That's for I can't
Was it-
imagine
That's okay.
arguing with a student about their name.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the same instructor, but yeah, my color theory instructor really focused on traditional gouache paintings and especially markers, and never really got into color theory. It was more about how to use traditional wet mediums.
Yeah.
And I found that very frustrating because I definitely did want to learn about, again, how to apply color practically, and we even concentrated more on value than color,
Yes.
I felt.
No, and you're exactly right with the focus on traditional media, which is fine. Like it's still valuable, but I didn't feel like I felt like I was taught more how to manipulate gouache as a medium rather than this is how you utilize color to get mood or feeling across. Cat, what are you doing? Speaking of mood, big mood. Oh.
Not to toot my own horn, but I teach a color theory class now. And I absolutely took everything we learned from that class and like, nope, I'm going to make this as practical as possible.
Yeah.
Here's how you use color, both psychologically, practically, artistically. So it's, yeah, learning from a bad instructor helped me realize what should not. And then things that they always put in color lessons that maybe is kind of phasing out of practicality these days.
Well, especially with, again, a lot of it was very specific to like what we were learning. Like, no, it's cool that you have taught me, how to light a scene, like light a still life with actual handheld lights. But what I would actually like to know is how do I work in a digital medium and work with digital color? Because I'm not actually going to be lighting a still life ever.
Yeah.
So, like, that's not actually a thing I'm going to do. But no, it's good. I think it's absolute kudos to you, Kia, for taking that and being like, hey, I found some of this lacking. Here are things I'm going to add to it to make it not be lacking for other students.
And I'm sure some students still are not getting 100% of what they want to learn, like always progressing. But yeah, just funny how much classes you take influence the classes you teach. I'm sure you guys can relate to that as well.
Yep.
I just feel like they should have divided it a little bit more, or like everyone gets the basic color theory, and then the video students, the animation students get color theory for film, which would have been really, really helpful, I think.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah, the video students really got the short end of the stick on that quite a lot.
Yep. Well, and I remember it wasn't in color theory class. It was in, I couldn't even tell you what class it was, but it was taught by Pianati. And he was discussing, I think he pulled up Star Wars specifically, but he was discussing the lighting one side with like red and lighting the other side with blue. And like, he actually showed us examples and went through a specific thing. He's like, here's how the colors influence this scene. Here's why this matters. And I was just, it was one of those where like, oh my gosh, I've been seeing this in movies for years and never like didn't understand the psychology behind what they were doing in those scenes. And now that's so much cooler. So again, not in color theory, in a much later class.
Is that storyboarding?
Oh, it probably was. Yeah, that would make sense. See, this is why I'm glad that you are all with me, so you can remember for me, because my brain is garbage and I remember nothing. I remember the lesson. I remember the person who taught me. I just don't remember details. Oh, goodness.
I still periodically see Mr. Pianati hanging out. In
Aw.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, do you?
Oh, hello. Hi. Do I not?
Whereabouts?
I guess this was pre-pandemic, but he was walking with his wife toward, I guess, away from Spirit in Lawrenceville, and I was walking to Spirit to go to a wrestling match.
Nope.
It was hilarious.
The wrestling
Speaking of-
match or Pianati?
The wrestling match, Pianati was great. I got a hug, and the guy I was walking with was just like, "Who is that?" And like, what is happening? Like, I just like ran up and hugged an old man, and I'm like, "Yeah, like one of the best teachers."
He looked like he needed a hug. Okay.
Yep. Hi there. What are we doing? Are you gonna put my headphones
Everyone
out?
saved.
Oh, thank you.
Save. Oh my gosh. I don't even have a name for this yet.
Thank you. Thank you for your butt. Thank you, Kat. Thank you. And yes, to Randall's comment in chat, bless those beautiful people on the internet who post color palettes to make things easier for the rest of us.
You know what
Yeah.
you should do?
When I was-
is-
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
No, you're good.
I actually just taught color theory as well to one of my classes, and I blew their minds when I showed them what used to be the website Cooler, Kuler, is now
Yeah.
Adobe.color, and I blew their minds. Like, I'm like, you go here, and they'll give you an entire thing if you mess around with this color wheel. You'll get your color scheme. They're like, what? I was like, yeah.
I use the same website when they have to do their color swap project, and I'm just like, look, here, it
Yeah.
will make it easy for you.
Yep.
Like, I want you to have accurate color schemes.
Well, also, like, I love that because one, it makes so much sense to utilize the technology that's available. Like, just because we struggle doesn't necessarily mean that they have to struggle. But also, at least for me and the way I learn, like having a resource like that so that I can utilize it when I'm uncertain builds my confidence, builds my understanding of what colors go together. And as I see it more, I start to learn it more so that I don't always need that and I can start doing it on my own. But it's so nice to have to start.
And you're just using science. It's not like you're stealing anything or
Right.
like it's a
Yes.
cheat.
It's
You're using
not
science.
cheating. It's a tool.
Mhm. Are we taking shots or drinks? 'Cause that's
Yeah, if we're gonna end up doing like drinks whenever your computer does that, I need to have eaten a very full meal before we start that stream because I'm gonna be hammered by the end of it.
sometimes it's not so bad. Sometimes it's like 2 or 3 times. Other times it's like every 30 seconds. So you
Every
just
time
never
you
know
touch
what to
something.
expect. Yep. It's weird because I go between 2 different laptops and a desktop, and this is the only one that does it. And so I get like extra frustrated for me because I forget why it's doing that. And I'll just keep clicking.
Randall says, "I'll drink for you, Sarah." Oh, and Simkin in chat was saying he uses that in his freshman classes as well, the color picker. So, yeah.
It's another. Oh,
Good.
go ahead.
No, go for it.
On the same sort of vein of the using technology to help, and again, I'm sort of referring back to something that I go over in my classes. I have a lesson dedicated to creating art, both commercial and fine art, for people with color blindness. And also because I get a lot of students that have some aspect of color blindness and kind of showing them how, the tools available to kind of, still be able to produce the art that they want. And then also teaching people, especially in the video game program, how to design for color blindness. So there's I think it's called Coreless, which allows you to load in any image or website, and then you can view it through the 8 most common forms of color blindness.
Oh, nice.
So I use that a lot. And then
Awesome.
exactly what Sarah was saying, which putting the black and white to like make sure your values are good. It's really good for that too, because if it's good for people with color blindness, it usually means that your values are probably really
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely awesome. And I love that it's a focus because yeah, that's fantastic.
So that's Cobliss for anyone that's interested, and that is a very useful site as well, using the technology to kind of like advance your art.
Yes. Yes. Become more powerful. So Nicole in chat said TikTok has taught me to unify my color palettes by mixing a tiny bit of the same paint into all my colors. Oh, that's very cool.
I need to paint with real paint more often, I think.
I had a random moment recently where I was really just jonesing to do it, and I was like, huh, I haven't felt this in a while. And I was like, nah, it'll pass. And I just, But I am about to start the next leg of my big mural project, so I will get to be doing plenty of traditional painting coming up.
How big is your mural?
Mm.
Should I not have asked?
Too
Sorry, that was
big.
involuntary. It is 2 flights of stairs up a stairwell.
Ooh.
Wow.
That is much bigger than I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, pray for me. It's gonna be fine. No, I think it's gonna work out. I'm happy with the mock-up. I have a plan. Just let's hope that things go to plan. That's my hope.
Because as November has taught us, plans always work.
Yeah, literally. What if the last 2 months taught Emily that everything goes to plan? There's a plan somewhere for all of this. It was funny. I was catching up with someone, and they asked how my week was, and I kind of just stopped and had a moment. I was like, "This week was actually okay." And they're like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "No, like nothing huge or drastic happened, so it was just a normal week." And I got way more excited about it than I should have. Also, what up, Bread? 2287. Hello, lurker friend. It's a Bread. We've missed you. Also, Sarah, I loved your basic idea so much, so I'm drawing little basic flower sacks with their little vests and winter hats.
Yes.
The kind of flour sacks that take BuzzFeed quizzes.
It's such a specific bird and it's so appropriate. Oh, I love it so much. Oh, good. So good.
Take BuzzFeed quizzes and post them.
But Kristen, I need to know which Parks and Rec character I am. Actually, I don't, because I already know which Parks and Rec character I am because there's no mystery. But I love the other ones, like which piece of vegetable and dinosaur are you? And you're like, I didn't even know that was a thing, but now I want to know.
It's like you have piqued my curiosity. What would I be?
What vegetable would I be?
The one that caught me was like, create a breakfast menu and we'll tell you what Pixar villain you are. I'm like, there are not that many Pixar villains. Also, don't associate villains and breakfast.
I was gonna say, breakfast is for heroes. Oh, Mayor Squish says, we'll guess your age based on your dessert choices.
I think that's a real one.
I'm pretty sure it is.
What if I just pick all the dessert? I just want all the dessert. Am I all the ages?
Constantly.
I think you're 5. If you want all the desserts, you're either 95 or 5.
Yeah. Oh, now I just want dessert.
Speaking of desserts, a couple of weeks ago, I roasted some pumpkins And I was like, I'll take this whole little pie pumpkin and I'll try to make pumpkin scones, not realizing that the pumpkin scone recipe only takes like half a cup of pumpkin puree. And I had like 2 cups. So I wound up making 2 giant bowls of dough and put most of it in my freezer. So we're set on dessert for a while.
We have accomplished the dessert.
That sounds delicious, though.
Oh, it's gonna be good. I mean, the first batch was good, so I have to improve upon that.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at my little flour sacks because they're just ridiculous.
That's good. If it can make you laugh, that means they
Either that or it just means I finally lost my mind. So Simkin asked if the Save Your Work alert is working. It should be. It should be a channel rewards point. Yeah. I'm just trying to go back and see if I could see it through. I don't always have. That's the only problem is I run this through StreamYard. And so I don't see, like, the chat feature shows me everything that people are saying, but it doesn't show me Twitch specific things. So I either have to have my phone open, which it was open, but it isn't for now, or have Twitch open. So I sometimes miss them. So I apologize. It's probably me. I'm having all sorts of tech issues this week. I'm just like, okay. Maybe she's going to be saying, girl.
The sexiest picture of Snarf is in like weird awkward dad pose, like the leaning. I'm like, yeah, that's the one I'm going to use for color reference.
Oh yeah.
Did you say sexiest picture of Snarf?
Yeah, it is the sexiest picture of Snarf.
Okay. I took those Uranus and Neptune flower sacks way too far, but it was fun.
Oh my god, I love them. Look at the background.
Just
It's so good.
so that when we're talking about, oh, what are some good basic things that you learned? It's like learn when to be done and when to
Yeah.
stop.
Why you
For a
gotta
jokey, funny thing, it's one thing, but like,
I was gonna say, why you gotta come right from my jugular, Kia? Why? That just hurts me. It was literally yesterday on my own stream where I was working on something. I was like, okay, I'm good. I feel good about this. I'm gonna finish it, and then started tweaking something else, and I was like, clearly I have lied to you, and I wasn't actually done. But now I'm just gonna stop. Whether I'm done or not, I'm going to stop and finish this piece.
lies and corruption.
I'm really trying to remember the last time I would have drawn an entire page full of flour sacks. It's just funny to me.
Am I still going even after my comment? Yeah.
That's
Do they
why
have
I
shading
believe
now?
you.
Sure. They have shading. All right, I'm done. Now I'm done.
I got the little lip on it. Just cracked me up. Oh my gosh. Also, Jeff Munn, that is stinking adorable.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh, I love him. Also, I'm getting big Mars attacks.
Yeah, with
big
the brain.
brain.
The brain dude, yeah.
Oh. Man, Randall calling me out. So it says, for those in chat not in the know, should Emily explain the flour sack thing? I can explain the flour sack thing. Also, I have to call out Salute the Fallen's comment first because it's yeah, same. It says, I can't do art, but I can understand that with stop or finish. I think this is a good place to break. And 3 hours later, here we are. Yeah, the amount of times that SpongeBob's 3 hours later actually happens in real life is upsetting.
Yeah.
So flour sack. Which is funny because as we've talked about it, we've mentioned it a whole bunch. I don't think I've ever actually interacted with a flour sack in real life. These are all like, I mean, I've had like the containers of flour, but they don't look like sacks anymore. This is a funny sentence. But flour sack was something that we used in animation specifically. In college is where I was introduced to it. So the idea being, it was really trying to get us to work on pushing our posing and our emotion through the characters. So the idea being that with this flour sack, it doesn't have eyes, it doesn't have eyebrows, more importantly, it doesn't have a mouth, it doesn't have hands. You can only showcase what that character is feeling or thinking through the posing that you're using and the body language. So it was it's a really good, I can't talk today. I'm so sorry. I don't want to say test, exercise in practicing nonverbal and not directly shown emotion and feeling and movement. So. And Hebe Buffet says, with this flour sack, I do wed. Yes. So, yeah. And the big one that I always like to reference, just because it's very accessible, is anybody who's watched Disney's Aladdin. Because carpet, while carpet is flat, carpet is basically a flour sack. Because carpet doesn't have eyes, it doesn't have a mouth, but you can tell exactly what carpet is feeling, what carpet is thinking, because of the body language that the animators gave it. So, that's a... Did I do okay, Randall? Was that a okay explanation of flour sack? And then if you were crazy like us in college, you had to animate it. You didn't have to just draw it. You had to animate it. I think mine jumped off a diving board. I think that's what my flour sack did.
Mine was drunk. Mine went to a martini bar, drank martinis, got drunk, fell off a stool, and then threw up in an alley.
Go home, flour sack. You're drunk.
I'm sure I thought it was hilarious at the time.
But it's fun. It can be a challenging exercise, but it's a really neat way to break down in your head when you're trying to convey emotion through a character. How much of that is body language? How much of it are you depending on the facial features? Now, obviously, like when we're making comics, a lot of my tight, close-knit shots on a person's face are just going to be determined by the facial expressions that they're making. But if I have characters who are interacting in the background, or even if you're getting a full body shot of somebody, it's even good to have it as a thought process in the back of your head for that, because body language is telling, and you can tell a lot of story and a lot of emotion through that. So Salute the Fallen says, visual image of carpet drunk in an alley now. Yeah. Yeah. I animated a drunk superhero in one of the classes, but I think that was in 3D.
I always felt the flour sack was a really good introduction to the bean shape too.
Mhm. I like it too because you can kind of play with what body parts the flour sack has. So do you take the top little ties? Do you do them as ears, or do you do them as hands? Do you use the flour sack as the main body, or do you do it as a body and a head? Like, that's kind of where you had a lot of wiggle room because it was such a simplistic character to play with. But at the same time, the cool nature of something that is dense like flour is it has weight. It has heft to it. Like, if you set it down, it will take up the space in the sack itself. And so it moves and squishes. So you're also incorporating squash and stretch and the squishiness of a character in all of that.
Yeah, that was something I struggled with squash and stretch, and I found because the flour sack didn't have joints that I had to worry about, I actually was able to squash and stretch much more than
Yep.
my brain would let me with a humanoid character.
Yeah. So much of animation and exaggeration is breaking traditional anatomy, and it's very hard to do until you start doing it and understanding it more. Like, I had the same, I was like, I don't understand how I can break the character and still have it read correctly.
Yeah. Squash and stretch is a hard thing to wrap your head around it when you're new to animation, I feel.
Yep.
Like, that's one thing I feel like I would have liked us to have tried to focus on more, was they just kept telling us, we'll do squash and stretch. How? Brain don't compute?
Push it more, not. Yeah, I feel like there weren't as much like nuanced critiques for that. It wasn't like, well, imagine this as a water balloon, or like,
Yep.
Things I figured out on my own, but I felt like if someone would have just said one extra sentence on top of make it squash and stretch more,
Yeah.
would have helped a lot.
Yep. Well, and Randall makes a good point that I wish we had learned the flower sack thing before the character model sheet class, because my poses and energy would have been better. Absolutely. Like, that was, I felt like, again, partially with the nature of our school, they were incorporating so much every quarter, and they were trying to get you through so much that they were giving you all of this information, but there wasn't that same amount of time to then absorb it and utilize it. Like, they're like, okay, so exaggerate it and make it squash and stretch, and also draw this character in 10 different poses. And I'm just like, I can't do all of those things. I don't know how.
Also, they directly contradict each other. Draw this character, make them 100% consistent and realistic anatomy, and now over here, do all this crazy squash and stretch, and
break all that, right? Exactly.
and break it, which
Here's
we
all the
should
rules.
be able to
now
do.
break it. Don't do it wrong. Don't break it wrong.
Right?
What?
Like, yeah, we have to learn it, but when you give us these two things to learn at the same time, I wonder how that like ends up funneling into our brain.
It kind of sloshed, I would say. It was very much like pull the lever and get dunk tanked. That's how it went into my brain. Yeah. Well, that was, I remember going into my student advisor and being like, hey, I have 2 life drawing classes this quarter. That seems crazy. Why would I take 2 of them in the same quarter with the same assignments when I have, why wouldn't I take it the next quarter? They're like, well, it's not offered the next quarter. I'm like, so the quarter after? And they're like, well, you're already in the class. And I'm just like, okay. It's fine.
They're like, well, if you quit now, it's more work for me. So just go ahead and stay in there.
I mean, to be fair, she doesn't have a job anymore. So.
Oops.
So, sorry, that got real dark.
It could have been worse. Well, to be fair, she's dead now, so it doesn't matter.
See, you made it worse.
Yeah, I told you. Just don't feel bad.
Is it sad though? I went through 4 different advisors from the time that I very first started, like got accepted to school to when I graduated. I couldn't tell you any of their names or anything about any of them. I don't remember anything.
Oh yeah.
I only remember one because I ended up working with her husband. So like I remember Julie, and only because she was kind of married. I don't remember if they were married or if they were just going out, but they had kids together. So like I ended up working with her husband for a while at the invention company that I worked at. So that's the only reason I remember who they were. But I couldn't tell you like the guy, like, and I remember my first, right before I graduated, I had to go down and I thought I wasn't going to pass my demo reel class. So I had to go down and be like, re-sign up for it. So I went down there and I was like, I don't think I'm going to pass it. So I just want to get signed up. I couldn't remember that guy's name at all. I couldn't tell you what he looks like. Nothing.
No, I could literally crash into one of these people on the street and I wouldn't know them from Adam.
I wouldn't unless the one advisor has not changed her ringtone in like 20 years. She had the most obnoxious. Now this is before smartphones, younger people. When we had flip phones, and it was so loud, and it was just this like it was like a radioactive siren alarm, but it wasn't the stereotypical one. It was just weird one I've never heard before. So I remember that really well because that kept going off in our meetings constantly.
Oh my God.
See, I feel you guys because at my school, like the people that helped us register for classes and set us up with that, the advisors, weren't the same as our teachers. Like we had to go to the administration office and they just look at your transcript and go, okay, yeah, this is what you need for this semester. So I never got to know any of them. I saw a different person every semester.
Well, and I remember like the first time I asked, because we had, for our school, it had a specific track. Like you took all of these classes to complete the animation track. And I remember asking, like, I want to take typography or something. They're like, well, it's in the graphic design track. I was like, okay. So I can't take it? And she's like, well, no, why would you want to? And I'm like, I don't know. That seems like a valuable skill. Why? All right.
I remember the one advisor had a salad fingers like pin.
Oh no.
So whenever you sat down, it would like stare at you, like right in the peripheral vision, just salad fingers.
Oh, that's so upsetting.
Well, the first time it was funny, and then every time I went to sit down with her after that, it was just like, okay, this is distracting.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, to your point, Megan, like, I think it would have been remarkably helpful to have our instructors have a little bit more say in what we were taking each quarter and how they were laid out. Like,
Might make more sense if you had, your teacher actually help you with your schedule.
now we're just talking crazy talk.
Now we're just talking crazy. Yeah, it was like the second to last semester when I sat down and they looked at all my stuff and they're like, you've almost got enough for 3 minors. And I'm like, yeah, because I wanted to keep up with English and other things. And if I saw a class that fit into my schedule, I would take it. And then they're like, but you never took Intro to Computers. And I'm like, well, I didn't take it because I took graphic design classes and I took web design or something with my associate's degree. So I was told when I switched to my bachelor's, I wouldn't have to take that class, that the one I took with my associates would fit. Apparently that was not the case. So my last semester incorporated one class, I think my dissertation final class, and Intro to Computers.
Oh no.
Were the 2 classes I had left.
That's so dumb. It's so dumb.
It was so bad. So bad.
I remember them scaring me so much when I was first coming to the school because there was a test you could take to test out of the Intro to Computer class, which, by the way, ran on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. like effing psychopaths. But they were like, well, no, like, do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know this? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. They're like, well, you better be sure because you only could take the test once, and you better not miss anything on it because you'll learn that in the class. And I remember being in the class and I was like, nope, I could have tested out of this and been fine.
Yep.
I'm so mad at you. 8 a.m. on a Saturday. Are you insane?
Oh, crazy people.
Ah, salute the fallen. Yay. Says good. My brain just clicked with the flour sack. Me, and since you were drawing it, I have no artistic background, and my brain was thinking flower as in the flora.
Laurel.
Yep. Flora. Yeah, not flour as in the baking ingredient. Yes. I'm sorry. I probably could have been a little bit more specific with that.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense because we're drawing him so stretched out.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, like when I think of flour sack now, I think of the 1 pound container that you can buy at the grocery store, and it doesn't have the little ties on it and everything. So so Simkin poses a question to all of you amazing art people. My department was talking about a text annotation tool for online sessions that lets everyone annotate the same document, but the entire time I was thinking I need something like that for video or images. Do you guys have any tools to point stuff out to others tools to point stuff out on each other's work? Take a drink. So all I know, Simkin, for what we have talked about is websites where you all share a canvas and that type of stuff. But I think that's a little bit different from what you're talking about.
I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe Google Docs allows you to do that type of collaborative things where you could like draw or highlight on something.
Yeah, it does. We actually use that for work because I teach kids in San Francisco, so that's why I teach so late. And the company that I work for, that's what we use is all Google Docs and stuff to do that. As far as imaging websites, like there's a program / site called Figma, and that's what we teach a lot on because it's free, and you can set up teams for that. So if you use the free version, which is what I'm using because I refuse to pay $12 a month.
Fight the power, Jeff.
That's right. You can set up so many team documents. So like if you start like one document, you can add up to like 2 or 3. I teach very small classes, so it's like 2 or 3 kids per class, and it's like so you can add all those people as collaborators, and you all work on it, and you can see their pointers and everything while you're working on it, so you know where they're going and stuff. So like we just did for my color theory class, I had them coloring logos, and so I could watch them as they went through their process and stuff. It was actually really nice to be able to watch them do that. And then I went ahead and did a couple myself so that they could watch me do it. So it's all in the same canvas. So that's nice to do. Oh, that counts as 2, right?
Double shot. Yeah.
We have a program with my school, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't have like a free open source version, and I'm pretty sure that you have to it's only for students enrolled. It's called Canvas, and it has a lot of really good features built into it with doing the annotations, the live conferences. It records every lesson. It does closed captions, so it's really good for that. And then very similar to what Jeff was talking about, where it allows you to draw, or you could draw straight onto their screen and, they can see what it is you're drawing. But again, I think it's tied to the certain campuses that purchase it.
Okay,
but there's a free version of Canvas.
Randall says, Sarah, I'm just going to go grab the vodka and keep it next to me. And Hebe says, you act like it's not already there. Also, literally, and because I appreciate all of you and you often have similar brains to me, Kristen, when you said closed caption, immediately in my brain, all I could hear was the woman from the old VHS things where it said closed caption for the hearing impaired. And that's what popped into my head. Lives there rent free.
Or like on PBS where it's like closed captioning provided by.
Yeah, there you go.
See, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all of you.
After these messages.
We'll be right back. Yeah. God, I remember singing that for someone and they're like, what? And I was like, I'm sorry. Do you not know that? There's a singing fire hydrant. And they're just like, sure, Emily. Sure there is.
The dog. It was the dog.
The fire hydrant can't hurt you anymore.
Show us where the fire hydrant talked to you. Yeah.
Some of those like commercial bumpers were a little scary sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
There are definitely some traumatizing things.
Once again, I feel like 80s and 90s cartoons took the same tack as like the old school German fairy tales where we're like, we will just scare the children and then they'll listen. I was like, no, it's fine. We're fine.
It's like, here's your brain on drugs.
Rachel,
Here's your brain on German fairy tales.
Oh, Salute the Fallen says, CBS presents this program in color.
In color.
In color. All right. Okay. And to your previous point, Salute the Fallen, and Randall, because you guys had asked, even though Randall already knows, like, so this was my first attempt at flour sack reaching for something too high. And then I tried again to push the pose a little bit more. So that was why it was nice to kind of get that again, because you don't spend a lot of time drawing the details on the flour sack. So if the pose doesn't work the first time, then you can quick sketch it again. Yes. Simkin also adds, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? That one was so prevalent
like
that it was printed in the newspaper.
Wasn't there like an empty swing set though? Like it was like a video of like an empty swing set. Like
yeah,
it was creepy.
You know where your kids are because someone just stole them from the playground.
Like literally, all you needed to add to that was the musical track of like children singing a lullaby, like
very slowly and off key.
Like. Because I was like, oh my gosh, okay, we take it seriously.
I don't
That
have
makes it
kids,
seem like
I'm gonna go look for them.
The singing children merry-go-round is more like your kids might be murderers and being the children of the corn. Like that's what I was getting from that more than they might be missing.
Are your children actually murderers? Oh,
that's a
God.
BuzzFeed quiz. 10 ways to tell.
Pick these children's toys to let you know if your child is a murderer.
Oh my God.
And then, of course, because BuzzFeed does it, some news agency takes it way too seriously and is like, tonight at 8, 10 signs that your child is a psychopath.
If your child plays with this type of Barbie.
Oh my gosh.
They might be plotting your death.
It's too late. They already are.
Yeah. I think I said it. I can't remember if I said it on air or not, but it was every time I teach a class of, and they're not even middle schoolers. They're like right at the cusp or so maybe we'll say like 8 to 10-year-olds. Every single time. How do we draw guns and how do we draw knives? And I'm just like, I can't wait for the phone calls from your parents. I was like,
What'd
I just
you
want
learn
you
today?
to go.
I learned how to draw a Glock.
Miss Emily taught us all about rifles. Great. Thanks, guys. Oh, the one group of kids I was teaching with I was teaching them Procreate on the iPads and everything, and they all love Among Us. So now they were just all making animations of Among Us characters killing each other, and I'm like, good.
Speaking of beans, geez, like those are flour sacks themselves.
They are. Simkin asks a great question. Who was McGruff the crime dog for exactly?
He was a private detective, wasn't he? Was he on hire?
Oh, I mean, he had the trench coat and the fedora. Did he? He didn't smoke, did he?
No, but he did have a voice as if he did.
Yeah. I still remember his address too.
Seriously?
Because it was a song. Yeah. Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It was a
Wow.
song.
Millennials triggered.
I send him a Christmas card every year.
Oh,
Never writes
And
back, but maybe
me too.
someday.
Oh God.
I send stickly cookies.
Oh, stickly. Yeah, take a bite out of a crime. Oh gosh.
I'm pretty sure I can still remember the PBS show Zoom, their address from the little song that they used to sing. But the McGruff crime dog thing is pretty impressive.
As soon as you said Chicago, Illinois, I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. He was in Chicago, which is appropriate because they have a lot of crime. Oh my goodness. I feel like the self-addressed stamped envelope was a phrase that I knew very well before actually understanding what it really was.
And how kind of creepy it is now that you think about it. Like, you're sending people your information so they can
Yep.
send you something back. So it
Yep.
shouldn't be that creepy. But it's kind of creepy now.
It's kind of creepy. Yeah, I wouldn't do it now. I mean, except for that Nigerian prince, but I trust him.
Yeah, but he's sending you money, so it's all right.
Exactly. We have an understanding.
That's a mutual thing. He owes me.
Oh goodness. Well, also, like, I will forever love the movie You've Got Mail because it's Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan and they're just adorable. But that's one of those where I'm like, there's no way you can remake that in this new age because you're never gonna have chat rooms like that before. Like, that's not what email is now. It's you can't go back to that blissful naivete that there was. You've got iMessage and it's a dick. The end.
The end.
The end. And they lived happily apart forever after.
And she blocked that person instantaneously.
The second he asked where she lived, she blocked him.
That sounds like the beginning of a horror story, though.
Yeah. ASL, baby. Like, nope.
Done.
Oh, salute the fallen. That makes me so happy. I'm sorry, this is total squirrel. The flower sacks are reminding me of Ryo Oki from Tenchi Muyo.
Aww.
Yes,
That's
collective
right,
home.
big ears.
I
little-
love
little
Ryo
body.
Oki. Yeah, he had a real squish body. It was great. Oh wow! So Randall was saying had a PO box, so there's no one to tell what our address was, and said, in fact, we didn't have official street names until I was in high school, and house numbers didn't come until my 20s. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's rural.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that's wild, which is also
Also appropriate, yes.
Yeah, we had ours come through, and our house number changed when like 911 came through and renumbered everything, which was weird.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys can hear that heater, but it is freezing cold in here, so I just have to turn it on periodically.
That's okay.
I have mine on constantly. So
Yeah, we would prefer that the artist did not freeze to death on stream.
I love this room, but it has like a 20-foot high ceiling.
Oh
So
no.
jeez.
It's just like, what is heat? It just.
I mean, all the heat, it's just, 20 feet above you. And I'm like, great, cool. Glad my ceiling is warm.
Yeah, great guys.
Yeah, the living room that I'm in is wide open and has a whole bunch of windows, so heat does not stay in here great, which is frustrating.
I'm in my basement, so I've got like 3 floor heaters going.
I have yet to bring the tiny fireplace up from the basement. I'm trying to avoid it for as long as possible.
That's called denial.
Yeah, the weather is not
Not
cooperating
cool.
with that sensibility this year.
No.
No, it's like it's 80, it's 80, it's 80, it's 40.
Oh, hey, good look, and now it's frozen at night.
Yep.
Cool. Cool.
I can get the want to try to like resist it as much as possible though, because
Oh yeah.
you can just
'cause-
be like, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. This is fine.
I'm
I'm
fine.
just-
We're fine.
Ignore the icicles on my feet. It's fine.
I'm just wearing 7 layers of clothes and every blanket that I have in the house.
See, that's what I would do. I'd be like, everybody suck it up and put some sweaters on, but we have a bird, so it's like, I guess we have to turn the heat up or else the bird will freeze.
Yeah, I would be like that too, but my fish tank has its own heater. So that
Well, there
turns
you go. You don't even have to wait.
Yeah, my frog has a little like cute heating pad as well.
Oh.
It also means that my cat snuggles more. And she's
Oh,
like,
there you
I
go.
need your body heat.
I was like,
On her-
yes.
Her body heat.
That's manipulation.
Yes, all part of my master plan.
It's a cat, so it's allowed. They manipulate us all the time. Oh my god, manipulate?
Dude,
what did I
welcome
just
to my
say?
world.
Manipulate.
Where's the vodka?
Randall!
Randall!
So Salute the Fallen says, Flower Sack Tuxedo Mask would be a cute artist alley sticker at a con. I concur.
I really wanted to do like flour sack pins because the select people that would know that would recognize why
Yep.
you have anime characters as flour sacks would be very into it.
Okay, I remember there were times where I would pitch ideas of things I wanted to draw, and like my table mate would be like, no one is going to get that. And I'm like, there's gonna be one, and
Yeah,
we're gonna
exactly.
have a really good moment when it happens.
I'm gonna make a best friend today. You keep your mouth shut. This is what I want to do.
Did we just become best friends?
That's right. We'll be kindred spirits for the rest of our lives because they will have bought my one sticker. But I need to make 20 just in case.
Once
Then you
again,
try to
just
explain
call
it.
me right now.
To the ones that don't.
Oh,
Up to 9. Up to 9. Hopefully you're taking sips of things and not
oh
whole
my
shots.
gosh.
You'd be dead.
I feel like we talked about it and now this is what happened.
We gave it the
Conversation
idea.
to it. That's right.
It's not because I'm doing anything wrong.
That's a double. That's a double. too.
11. 11.
Oh my gosh.
It's anytime I adjust the opacity of something.
That's
Are you sure you want to make
random.
this lighter? Are you sure? Mm.
You might want to think
My-
about this.
Mine does that. Like if I leave autosave on in Animate, it'll do that because it just randomly, and it's so touchy that if it's auto saving and I don't notice it and I try to do something and like I hit the pen to the screen, it'll crash the entire program.
Oh,
So I have to turn autosave off on Animate because it's always been like that. It's like, oh yeah, you should. Oh, no, we're crashing.
Too late.
And then I sit there and I go, when did I save last? Has it been an hour? Has it been 10 minutes? Oh, we'll find out with the recover. Oh, good. It was an hour.
Oh, whatever happens,
Every
it's gonna
time.
feel real bad.
Would you like to open the recovery file? Well, sure. Oh, that was before the last save. Why would you?
But why did you even offer that?
Why is that an option?
Yeah, I love it with Corel Draw because it would also crash on me often, and like I would try and open the backup file and it's like it's corrupted. I'm like, okay, then why did you offer it? Why did you even give me that opportunity?
Why did you make a recover file if that's the case?
Come on, Corel Draw, get good. Oh God.
Get good.
Oh man, Hebe, now I just want cheese puffs.
Oh, I moved it.
Now that we were talking about chatting, I did my little selfie flour sack.
That's a great idea.
Not sure what's happening with this pillow.
I should have modeled my Panthro after the girl I saw at the flea market over the summer. She looked like she was dressed by Instagram. And she was like running around with her boyfriend and her mother's pulling a little wagon, and the boyfriend had like the camera, and she's just like, "Oh my God, mommy, please come over here and look at this so we can take a picture." And I was there with friends, and we were like, we have to get ahead of them. We have to get as far away from them as possible.
This is like an adult person?
Yep, she was completely, at least in her mid-20s.
Oh.
Was she
No,
like
but-
videotaping at the time of this?
It was, boyfriend had camera. I don't know what was happening, but
It just seems like weird dialogue.
yeah,
That
she
is
just
very strange.
Also,
the flea market.
yeah, when like adult children refer to their parents as mommy, it's weird to me.
Mhm.
I don't like
We
it.
tried force our 12-year-old to say mommy and daddy. He hasn't said it in years because he's too cool for it. And once he started just saying mom and dad, our 8-year-old did the same thing. And it was like I said, it was a couple years ago. He was like still 6, so it was like, come on, dude, we still had a couple more years with him. And now you made him call us mom and dad. So we every now and again we're like, call me mommy, call me daddy, and he's like, no, I won't do it. I won't. No. So we still have one that still does it, but the other 2 are lost causes.
No.
Trying to hold on to that last.
Well, I was gonna say, so what's it gonna feel like when the first one refers to you as Jeff instead of
won't.
Dad?
He won't. I'll drop him, and he knows it.
Oh
It's
my
funny
God.
because he's a couple inches taller than my wife now, and like so this summer is when he finally hit like the 5-foot mark, and that's how tall she is. And then he went, now he's like 5'2" because they're all just sprouting like crazy right now. And so I was like, I just measured him. He comes like I'm a whole head taller than he is now, so I'm just like, you might become taller than me, because it was always like you'll never be taller than me because like I'm 6'2", she's 5 foot, and like he's like, we're like, you'll be lucky if you hit 6 foot, dude, because you've got a mix here. But I think now today I was like, oh, you might get taller than me because you're only 12 and you're almost there. So I don't know. So the big thing was him just like, I'm taller than you, Mom. I'm taller than you. We're like, dude, it's not that big of an achievement. Like you're
Also, she's 5 foot. Like that's
right,
really
that's
not.
what we're saying. Yeah, you're like, she's 5 foot tall. It's like you're not. But he's still going. So I was like, oh, I don't remember how tall I was when I was his age. I don't think I was over 5 foot. So I was like, maybe you will get taller than me.
You tell him that the way to get taller is to call his parents
Mommy and daddy.
Mom and Dad again. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you want to be as tall as me, here's what I did.
That's smart.
Also, Stray Toast just says, "No, Father, I won't."
Yes.
Yeah, I can't. Like, mom and dad were pretty much it. I couldn't. Like, I had friends who would refer to their parents by their first names, and I would just sit there with like eyes wide, be like, "I can't believe you just did that." I was like, "You're playing with fire right now."
It's still odd, like to this day, like to see. I'll see when I visit home, like if I see my friends' parents, it's still weird for me to call them by their first name, and I'm like, dude, you're in your 40s. Like, it's probably time to let go of that. You have to call them Mr. and Mrs. Like, it's okay.
It's really hard to do, though.
Yeah, it is. It's just like, ah.
I'm so glad that's not just me. Because I'm like, yeah, you could call me, Elaine. I'm like, I really can't.
I don't know
though.
if I can. I don't know.
I cannot. I can call you, Nathan's mom. That's what I can call you. I can't know your first name. I don't like it.
You're eternally Mr. and Mrs. Frappier, and that's it. I cannot break that.
That's
I
right.
will not call you Donna.
Especially when
make
you've
me.
spent so much time with them that they're almost like your second set of parents. So it's
Yeah.
just like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I do have a weird one with calling my mom by her first name, and that was because as a young kid in a store, I'd yell out "mom," and I'd have like 8 other women look at me. So I got used to, and little kid, yelling out my mom's name in the store, and I've never let go of that. So now it's completely unconscious. Obviously, I call her mom, and then anytime we're in a store in a public place, I call her by her first name, and I'm pretty sure, like she's fine with it, I'm fine with it, but like it gives people that we're with like weird mood whiplashes. They're like, "Why are you calling your mom by her first name?" But you called her mom in the car. I'm like, look, I don't have time.
It's a thing I was taught as a child. I'm basically a monkey. This is what
yeah.
I know.
I
Leave
know.
me be.
I wasn't taught. I came up with it myself.
This is a learned
And my
behavior,
mom
okay?
tried to get me to stop, and then she realized that every time I yelled "mom," all these
Yeah.
other women would come up to me, and it's like,
It's
okay,
smart.
I get why
Yeah,
you're
it's
doing
actually a pretty smart survival skill. Like, it's just like I needed to learn to do that.
Yeah. I mean, I learned after only one time when I was at an event that I didn't want to leave, and my mom said it was time to go, and she came to collect me. And there were other people around, and they're like, "Oh, is that your mom?" And I was like, "No, that's not my mom." Of which that didn't go real well. But I
You
only
got
did
in
it
more
once.
trouble than you should have. Yeah.
Oh, I super did. I got in so much trouble.
I've never seen this lady before in my life.
Oh God. Yeah, I realize now. I was like, I'm glad this happened in like the early 90s, because if it happened now, like
nowadays,
they would have taken me away. Yeah, that's not my mom. Oh. I'm pretty sure, like, if anybody around saw the level of like rage that came out of my mom's face right now, like, no,
definitely her mom.
that's definitely her mom. She's in trouble.
She's in trouble.
Oh God. Yep. No, and my other favorite thing to do as a kid, like when I'd go grocery shopping or just out shopping with my dad, would be to hide in the clothing racks and be really, really quiet so he couldn't hear where I was or know where I was, because that was such a fun game.
Not for him.
And so you hide a little too long, and then they're running around the store yelling your name, and then the game's gone on a little too long, and now you're embarrassed to come out.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
I'm
just
like,
me.
well,
Now
I
I
just
can't
live here
come
now.
out.
Yep. Yeah, my poor father.
Well, guys, I am going to call it done for myself. So
all right.
if I want, these are my bean shapes or silly shapes, and then these are my finals. So we're going to
Wait, I want to see.
originals, finals.
Fun. Look at these fun BBs. I love it. Oh, the little ghost makes me happy.
I love the bottom right with the broken horn.
Yeah.
Oh my God. They've got such great personality.
Thank you. And this is a perfect thing to get me out of my funk. Like this week was a tough drawing week, and I think this exercise was perfect. So
Oh, that makes me so happy.
I really appreciate being able to come on and do this.
Yeah. So if people want to support you, I know you're. Yeah. F's in chat for Sarah's computer. Where can people support you, see your stuff when you start posting more stuff?
Sure. I do still once in a while post on Instagram, and I'm there as just Jeff Munn. And then on Patreon, which again, hopefully I'm going to get some good news this month, and things are going to really kind of ramp up on there. So it's patreon.com/pocketscience. So that's about it. Again, I left Twitter. You won't find me posted on there anymore. And I lurk on Facebook, but I'm thinking about walking away from that as well, just because it's been wonders for me mentally to not go to Twitter anymore and doom scroll for hours. So
Yep. No, I feel you. It is a simultaneously exhausting thing to be a current artist and need to be out in the world and be social to get work, but there's a lot to filter through to get to that point. So
yeah,
no.
Yep.
Your mental health is more important. But no, this was awesome. And anybody who's interested, if you like the stuff that Jeff did, this will end up on our Doodle Crew Instagram and Facebook. So make sure to check them out because they're adorable and we love them. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us.
Thank you guys. It's always a pleasure, and it's been fun. So thank you very much, and have the rest of the stream be awesome for you guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
Also, Randall gave you a whole bunch of F's, Sarah. So there you go.
It's only 12. 12 o'clock today. It's almost 5 o'clock-ish on the East Coast.
Okay, you just gave me a heart attack there when you said that. Because I was like, wait, is it? Everything's fine. Everything's fine. No, everything's fine. I got this.
You're like, no wonder Jeff was leaving.
Oh, gosh. Well, and I think, and we've talked about this a little bit on stream with Doodle Crew, but also I know a bunch of us brought this up in the interviews, which shameless self-promotion again, head over to my YouTube to check out all the interviews with these amazing artists because they talk about a lot of really good stuff. But we talked about how with Doodle Crew, because it's not a paying gig, it's not a project, we could just show up and draw without the concern that the thing that we make has to be something. And that can be really relaxing and sometimes what our brains need, because so much of what we do ends up being for something else or for someone else. Nice when you can just make some silly art and call it a day.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to breathe and
Yes. Sometimes you just need to draw a sexy flower sack with the heart of the ocean.
Oh my god.
I am all for that.
Uh-huh. Yep. I'm creating some masterpieces over here. Yeah. Hebe in chat. Oh no. Oh yeah. See, that's when, I'm sorry, this is where my brain just went. Like, I feel like Kool-Aid Man would be so much more difficult to animate because he doesn't have like the squash or stretch and squish like a flour sack because he's got a hard glass exterior. So,
Very good transition to 3D.
yeah.
He's all limbs.
He's all rage.
What is there's a D&D monster. It's like a keg golem or something, and it's basically the Kool-Aid Man but a big beer barrel. And he like breaks through a wall, and I'm like, yeah, that is 100% D&D Kool-Aid Man.
Oh my god, I love it. I will say, well, it's not the best thing because it makes playing D&D difficult sometimes, because I know so little about the actual monster manual and the available monsters. Like when I'm in a random encounter, they're like, okay, you come on this thing and it's described like this. And I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. And the rest of the table is just like, yeah, Emily, it's this thing. I'm like, oh, neat. Okay.
That's better, I think. than knowing all the monsters, because you can just enjoy the encounter instead of trying to like not metagame, and you're like, oh well, I know that this creature is I don't know, immune to cold damage. So
Right.
I know not to shoot it with an ice arrow, but like my character technically doesn't and has a whole quiver full of ice arrows. So it's hard to not metagame there.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're coming in with fresh eyes, you're just like exactly how your character would be. It's a little more true to the RPG experience, I think.
And this is why I always play characters with low intelligence and low charisma. So I don't have to stretch too far. I like tanks. I'm good at playing tanks. Just like, can I smash things now? Let's do that. I'm going to smash things. Kibi says, also, he's full of liquid, much like myself after taking shots for every time Sarah's computer makes sounds. I
It's
too
only
am full of
13.
liquid.
Only
What was that?
13.
Oh, no. Well, this one needs more. Sorry. This piece is so silly. So for those of you playing along at home, I highly recommend the silly shapes and flour sack stuff if you just want to draw some fun warm-ups, because it really is nice.
Just relaxing as well as
Useful.
useful. The word I was trying to figure out was not a lot of stakes. Like,
Yes.
it's okay if it doesn't come out good. You're not planning to do anything with it. It's just for fun. It's just for you, kind of thing.
Yes. If that wasn't already clear, this one that I'm drawing right now is clearly just for me. Salute the Fallen says, Kool-Aid Man always made my physics and mechanical brain hurt because my mind would just go, how does he not break? While other kids were like, yeah, through a brick wall. Yeah. Mayor Squish, do you want me to come tank for you in Final Fantasy? Yeah, what do we think? Maybe, because we're about 20 minutes away from the 2-hour mark. Do you want to say we head to 2 hours and then call it?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I'm so close to being done. Now it's race to finish.
Well, I'm
Just
also
for once I don't have a finish.
I was gonna say, I feel like once I complete this particular masterpiece, I can't go anymore because nothing's gonna compare.
Nothing compares to you. Someone had to do it. Someone had to do it.
That's okay. Literally, since I started drawing this, all I have in my head is the Britney Spears. Oh, but I thought the old lady threw it in the ocean at the end of the movie. Well, baby, I went down and got it for you. Just in there. It's in there. These are the times where I think of Inside Out with the mind workers who are going in and like vacuuming up all the ones that you don't remember anymore. And I'm like, why do you take away things that I would like to remember and only leave the bullshit? Why is triple mint gum still there? No. Stop. Triple mint gum. No. Why?
Don't need that.
Was that a fire or a smoke detector sound?
I think so.
It wasn't me. We actually had an inspection, so we're good. I say that, and then like the one in my room will go off for absolutely no reason. I'm sure.
I heard it again. Maybe it's only in my head. I expect to hear it every time I'm on stream.
I mean, yeah.
There's 2 sounds for the stream.
Your computer ding and smoke detector.
I'm upset that
It's the
I was
soundtrack.
responsible for it once. The fire or the smoke alarm.
Well, and then I have those moments where I'm just like, it's not me. It's definitely not me. I would have heard it before. And then I was like, is it? Is it me?
Would I have heard
Is
it
it
before?
actually? No, I don't know. Nope.
Exactly what I was saying about no consequence. Just doesn't matter.
I mean, to be fair, it is not the most monstrous Sailor Moon that you've drawn in the last couple weeks.
That one was pretty good. I liked that
I
one.
loved that one. It was so insane. I loved it.
It's probably my favorite Sailor Moon fan art that I've ever done. My weird, what are we calling it? Cronenberg?
Yes.
My weird Cronenberg Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. On the most recent stream, we went full prompts, and somehow that led us down the Cronenberg path, and we never really recovered.
I can bring it up, but I don't want to scar people. I don't know if that would.
Oh, Cronenberg. When I blame Joey too, I feel like Joey really kicked it off, and then we all just like it. Just you couldn't fight it. You just
Nope.
leaned in. I mean, Hebe's all for it. Says, bring back the body horror prompts.
It's Halloween all the time.
Yes.
Just gotta
I mean, I support that.
I'm upset that it's now Christmas time and we haven't had Thanksgiving yet.
Yep. Exactly that. I feel the exact same way. Really like Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is one of my favorites. I actually saw a TikTok recently where a guy dressed up like he's got this suit, this black and green suit for Halloween, and he's coming like inside from a party, and he's like, "Oh, hey, you're up, dude." And here's a guy in a Christmas suit, and he's like, "Cool." And Thanksgiving's in the corner with a t-shirt like, "Wait, I thought I was next."
Oh.
Yeah, I think that sums up this year.
Yeah. Which I get. Like, I understand, and Christmas is very important to a lot of people, and they get a lot of joy out of it, and I totally understand. Like, no, if you can find any joy and brightness in this hellscape, I support you. But also, I'm with Soapbox Klotz, and I need to consume. Also, my mom's a really good cook, and, like, Thanksgiving meals are really good, and it's usually real chill. Like, I have been very lucky that Thanksgiving does not mean insanities with extended family or stress in that way. It has always been a positive thing. So Mayor Squish says Christmas or bust. Not actually how she said it, but that's how I heard it in my head. But I do fully support watching Nightmare Before Christmas from before Halloween until Christmas. So
Yes.
Oh, that is my life right now.
has the little one been introduced?
She has, and she has been watching it almost nonstop since mid-October.
Yee. I love it.
So I get to do a Nightmare Before Christmas display for Christmas this year.
Ooh.
So Oma bought a Sally figurine, the Zoteki that like they're hexagonal and they click into each other and they make like the town scene with the main characters. So I managed to find all of them but Harlequin for pretty affordable. So I'm gonna put them in kind of a semicircle. And then we have an advent calendar from last year that actually pops up into a Christmas tree, and all the characters are ornaments. So that'll go on top of this, and then I've got to get black lace or something for the table, and that'll be our Nightmare Before Christmas Christmas display this year.
Oh, I love it.
But not until December 1st.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like, I think also it's from, working in retail or retail adjacent for a long time, and like Christmas season. And honestly, it was from the beginning of September, which is when football season would get bonkers for us, and run until like mid-December was the hell time for me. So like that was more of the like, don't rush it. Don't rush Christmas to get here sooner. I have too much that needs to be done. Please, no. Please no. Oh, Sarah.
It was like nothing's happening, and then it yelled at me for saving. Why?
How dare you?
I just wanted to save, guys. Why?
The exasperation grows.
I don't understand.
All I can imagine is the Ryan Gosling from The Notebook. What do you want? What do you want? See, I store all the great pop culture things in my brain. Couldn't store, geography, which would have been helpful.
All those categories of things that would help you win money at bar trivia.
Yeah.
That's safe.
Well, we keep all that. Don't you worry. Oh, God. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
It's very similar to like Thanksgiving turkey. Like if you were drawing a Thanksgiving turkey as Rose.
Yes. Yes. Again, pretty sure that's a whole BuzzFeed collection of let's draw all of these Disney princesses as Thanksgiving turkeys. Oh gosh.
All right, nothing selected. I'm not doing anything in any boxes. One last save. Oh, okay.
yeah, nice time.
Why? Why sometimes, but not other times? I'm very confused.
The computer is just a middle school mean girl now, and she looks back at you like, why? Like it's hard? And you're just like, what? Oh, also speaking of random shit that's stuck in my brain, one of my favorite commercials from forever ago was, I think it had to be for Geico because it's the only thing that makes sense. But it was the guy who's like trying to go on a diet, and rather than go to the gym, I just got the popular girls from the local middle school to follow me around, and anytime he goes to take a bite, it's the three girls, and they go, ew, seriously? So gross.
Wow, I forgot that commercial.
You're welcome. My gift to you. Ew, seriously? So gross. Yep.
I mean, that would work.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it'd be more successful on me now than it was then.
Reminds me of John Mulaney, the comedian, did a very similar bit about the younger generation, like making fun of him for his like sensitive areas.
That man with very slim hips. No!
That's the thing I'm sensitive about.
Yeah. There are times where I'm just like, damn you, Mulaney, for being so relatable. So relatable. Yeah, his bit where he's talking about assembly and, the teacher's yelling at you to pay attention and all of this. And you're like, they took us away to stop us from learning so that we could sit in an auditorium and listen to someone says, I used to smoke crack. And you're just like, what? What is this? What is happening? And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, John Mulaney has a whole bunch of specials on Netflix, and it's in one of them. So, highly recommend.
Very good, very relatable.
I need to do that thing where I say I'm done and I stop tweaking things, because when I tweak things, I have to then save them and run the risk of my computer yelling at me for saving.
Is it an older computer?
2 years? Not like old.
Okay, so
Just sassy.
It's just sassy.
oh, like Sally Field as the cat in Homeward Bound.
Yes.
You should start referring to more electronics as sassy. I like that.
It's so appropriate too. Excuse you, toaster oven. Excuse you. See, it's funny when we do stuff like this because it's appropriate and you will all laugh. And then I will have like other people over to my house and I will say things like that. They're like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, sorry. Doodle Crew would get it. Sorry.
No. You got to say like Doodle Crew would get it.
But yeah, I need to be more of a sassy middle school girl is really what I need to start channeling. Go back to being a confident, popular girl from middle school.
I wish I knew what that was like.
Yeah, I was going to say, can't pull it from personal experience, but...
I can live vicariously through the things I've witnessed in movies.
Pretty much.
Speaking of BuzzFeed again, I do love the articles where it's people in other countries saying like, wait, American high schools actually have lockers? Like, I thought that was just a Hollywood thing that they made up. Like, you really need hall passes to go to the bathroom? Like, just the weird stuff that apparently
Nobody else in the world does.
Nobody else. Like, wait, you really have like a prom king and queen, and it's always you have cheerleaders in
But there's an upsetting lack of choreographed dances that happen at prom. I just want to put that out there. I was very disappointed that was not a thing. Oh my god, it's adorable.
I can't get my friends to want to just randomly dance when we go out to bars.
Hmm.
I'm trying to live that life. They just won't come to dance classes with me.
Hmm.
You need to rehearse. Like in Rocco.
Did you see the flyers?
Yeah.
Every Thursday.
I dance with you, Sarah. I don't even need to be drunk. I'll just dance. I danced in the grocery store the other day.
What song came over the
Oh, it was Gloria Estefan. Oh no,
Yep.
What was the name of it? That's all I can remember, and I can't think of the name. But yes, yeah, it was good. I was very happy about it.
I was doing it too in the grocery store, singing and doing like a finger snap dance. And it was to the musical 6.
Yeah.
So it had that like extra sassiness to it as well.
That's so good. Also, I just love it so much as a concept. It just sparks so much joy.
Oh, 6. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, also you dancing and singing in the grocery store. I don't want to demean that. That also brings me joy.
The worst is when it's an earworm and then I sing it all day for the next week. And I'm singing and dancing and at least when it happens, people will be like, okay, yeah, you're doing it while the song is happening. Like 3 days later and I do it and people are like, well, what is happening? Where did this come from?
It lives in my brain.
I'm sure it's relatable, but when it's not the full song and it's just like one part of the song.
I was just going to say that when it's just like these 2 lines, and especially if it's a song I don't know, and I'm just like, it's just these 2 lines on repeat for days. Yeah. Although this is how I feel like if I was ever to be psychologically tortured and they'd be like, we're going to do this to you. And I was like, one step ahead of you, buddy. I've been training for this for years.
You can't torture me any worse than my brain does daily.
One step ahead of you. Already there. You want to see the dance I came up with to it?
Oh, yeah. What if you choreographed a dance? They're trying to interrogate you and you're just in the room.
I just think of the Vine where they're playing, it's the guy on the piano and he's playing Heart and Soul, and the other guy comes in and does a dance that is very much not the dance to that. And I'm just like, yes, that's exactly it. References upon references upon references.
Until you can't remember how you started.
Yep. That's why I'm afraid to talk to like 20-year-olds now, because I'm like, I don't know if I can. They're like, yeah, this thing. And I'm like, okay.
That is a thing that I have heard of. Sure.
I'm more worried that I will quote things that they don't know because I'm too old. Like I quote The Simpsons, and not just like recent Simpsons. I am quoting season 1, like episode 4, and it was like released 10, 15, 20 years before they were born. And I'm like, well, you're lost. I'll just be crazy by myself over here in the corner.
I was there when it was written.
Yes.
Don't cite the deep magics to me. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I'm usually okay until I do the thing that you just did where love you, Nicole. Where I do the math about when this came out versus when they were born. I'm just like, cool. All right. I feel like death.
Yeah.
And went over color forecasting, which means that also looking back in the past at the uses of color and how it changes over the centuries. And I was talking about Pantone's color of the year, and those specific colors I wanted to point out, and it was back in like 2004 and 2005. And I even said, like, I don't know where you guys were back then. Don't know what age you were. Not going to do that math. Think you were all alive in 2005. But I actually said that, and I felt really bad about it. I was like, because I'm talking about something like, oh, let me talk about something you guys can relate to. And then I jumped to 2016. And then I realized, like, oh, wait, this was still when they were in like junior high, maybe elementary school. So they wouldn't know about this socioeconomic political thing I'm going over in 2016.
Yeah.
So
it's fine.
Let's go back to singing in my head. I want to dance with somebody.
Yeah.
That's the one that gets in there most often.
That one spends a lot of time in my brain. But I love that one, so I don't mind as much.
Yeah, I'm not complaining, but that's where I'll be for a while until I don't feel old anymore.
which one is it?
I want to dance with somebody. I'm really bad at singing. I apologize to everyone right now.
Well, it's also Whitney Houston. So, like, you couldn't have picked, like, a person who had, you know, a tame vocal range. Like, you picked a really talented musician.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I will sing it at the top of my lungs anytime it comes on, anywhere. I apologize to everyone and then refuse to apologize.
You get the one, and then I'm not saying it again.
Yep. It's such a good song. I sing it to my cat a lot.
Does the cat sing backup?
What song was I singing? And she did like sing with me for part of it. And it was like a part that's like really high pitched yodely. I think I was singing Everybody's Talking at Me by Harry Nilsson. And there's a part where he like goes from low to really high. And I was like holding that note and she just went,
That's amazing.
I love it so much.
So either she was singing along or she was saying, please stop.
For the love of God,
the first
Mom.
one. Yeah. I choose to believe she was singing along, and I will not be taking any other opinions.
Is that definitely Vegeta?
Yeah, I'm just laughing because like I usually make the arms the flower sack tips on the top, the arms, and then I was just realizing like, oh, these are the shoulder pads, but it'd look really weird if I had them like up here. So then I was trying to think like, oh, should I just like give him like real muscular arms right here and just like have a shoulder or a flower sack that has arms for once? Like, I don't know. It feels like I'm breaking the rules.
Shoulder pads for no arms?
I fully support the decision you made because it makes me so happy.
They're just super exaggerated, pointy, large, really ridiculous looking. Yep, saying shoulder pads. It's so silly looking. No consequence. I love flower sacks. No consequence. You can mess them up. You can make them look weird.
Yes.
Well, I think the shoulder pads were important because until now I assumed Goku.
This is true.
But this was like 100% Vegeta.
Well, I realized when I like drew the widow's peak, which I should probably draw a little bit more pronounced. There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Now we got the. The receding hairline of Vegeta.
Oh, it's so good.
I've been drawing Sailor Moon this whole time, and I'm wearing a Dragon Ball Z comfy sweater, so represent.
Just add like a speech bubble where he's screaming Kakarot.
Oh god.
I wish there was like a good flour sack pun I could use for that.
Oh. They have so many good food named villains, and none of them are flour sack related.
Yeah.
No, but you can buy a sack of potatoes. I'm just saying.
Yes. Got it.
Oh, Hebe with the win.
Yes, it's perfect.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh, I want these to be animated.
I feel like it's not really Vegeta unless I have the dark blue too, so I'll add that in there.
Yes, Hubie. 30. It was it 30 seconds or it was like 1 minute movies with bunnies?
30-second movies made with bunnies. They were my favorite. Honestly, the reason why I know quotes from some movies is literally because of that. Like, I know red rum from the bunnies, not from The Shining. Yeah. Angry Alien, I think. They had very flour sack. And then they got picked up by Stars, so they ran on Stars for a while. Yeah. Yeah, you said that.
I remember you could buy like a compilation of them at some point. Like, here was the DVD box set of like a jillion movies made with bunnies.
Yeah. I could not believe the amount that they made. I was like there's so many of them.
Prolific.
Also, you want to talk about a deep cut internet thing? The way that I say 7 days from The Ring is literally the way they said it in the movie, in the bunnies, not from the actual Ring. And I'm just like, nobody gets this. Nobody. No, this doesn't make sense to anyone. Why do you do this? 7 days. Every time. But now I have Hebe. I have someone who will understand.
Turn this off.
Yep. I don't watch The Exorcist by myself because The Exorcist is terrifying to me.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I've watched it a million times, I will not watch it by myself because I get into my own head, and every creak that happens in the house, I'm like, oh God, Mr. Howdy is here. Or Captain Howdy. He's watching me from the shadows, and there's a creepy face behind me. It's just that like white out face.
Nope, don't like any of that.
Just staring at me from the shadows. So with bunnies, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with bunnies. I watched all the horror ones that had bunnies.
I remember loving the Alien one.
Yeah.
Alien and Jurassic Park were my favorites.
Oh, that was good. I liked
Also
the Rocky Horror Picture Show one. Because then there was a little dance thing where they did the little like legs out. Oh, it's so good.
They were 100% beans.
Yeah.
And that was like height of Flash animation.
Yep.
Hebe.
Seriously, everyone in chat, if you don't know what we're talking about, you need to go look this up because it's 30 seconds. You can spend 30 seconds watching adorable bunnies be silly. I'm positive they're still out there in the world.
Jaws was a good one.
Oh, Jaws was a really good one.
The Quint bunny.
These were animated, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if they were like stop motion or something.
Nope. Flash.
Yeah, really quick Flash stuff. And it was when we were learning Flash, and I'm like, this is all I want to do with my life.
Honestly, same.
Can I just make shorts that I could
It's like, how do I
use
get this
today?
job?
Yeah.
This is the job I would like. How do I do this? I just feel like in that moment, Ketty was like, "Oh, guys, no."
At least pretend like you want to go work for a studio, just to make us look better.
Oh, why? I changed the opacity of one shadow and then decided to save, and it was like, no, don't do that. Think we're at
Excuse me, no.
21.
Oh goodness! All right. Oh, Megan, I love your shapes.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. All right. Do we want to do wrap up roundup?
Sure.
Sarah, do you want to go first since we haven't gotten to see yours?
Yeah, give me 10 seconds because I resaved and it's thinking really hard about.
You said you needed us, so no.
Yep. Oh, there we go. There we go.
It's like the printer. You can't ever let the printer know that you are eager for the document. You have to be calm because the printer can sense your fear.
Yes.
And your want.
And your want. Speaking of sassy electronics. All right. Yay! Look at the basic Pithro.
I can smell the pumpkin spice.
I love it. I love it so much. He just looks so happy though.
It's because he's in his comfy clothes and he's got his latte.
He's feeling
ready
it.
Yeah.
He's feeling himself. Oh, I love it.
It's
Where
got so
can
much
people...
motion in it.
Yeah. I like the leaves too. Just all the details. So where can people find you, follow you, see your comics, all of that?
Tumblr, Facebook, my website, I think. I should really update my website. Maybe that's my goal for November.
Hooray! Yeah. No,
I'll try.
I feel that.
I can't promise I'll try, but I'll try to try. Out of the Simpsons quote, I'm bringing it back to that joke.
That's called a callback, kids.
Quote the show that happened before you were born.
It's fine. We're not going to think about it too much. And at this point, we've all been taking shots, so we're all drunk, so it's fine.
You should be really drunk. I think we hit 21.
Oh my God, yeah. I'd be dead. The word you're looking for is dead. All right. Megan, show us your shapes.
All right. Well, here's my shapes. I went back and colored in a couple of them just for shiggles. I also did get around to my cross hatching. Let me just bounce. There we go. So I did get a little bit of hatching in.
Yeah.
It is so relaxing. I had so much fun. I'm like, I'm just sitting here drawing lines. I miss this.
Aw, yay. I love it. Yeah, no, the bag looks great.
Thank you.
Also, I like all the kitties. I like all the snuggle kitties from the shapes.
Thank you. Can't
font
resist
also
drawing
looks
kitties.
Good.
Thank you.
It's hard to do patterns. I find it.
Yeah. That's a big old nope for me.
Oh, it's one of the things that I would like to do is get into like making pattern brushes, and I'm just like so intimidated by it. But I probably shouldn't be. I should probably watch some videos and just figure it out.
I have that with I want to make my own font, which I know how to do. I have all the templates and do it. I just haven't sat down to do it yet. Because it's a lot of work. It's probably not. It's probably not actually that amount of work, but I don't want to do it anyways.
It's a lot when your schedule is as packed as we know yours is.
Yes. I was just like, hey, you know what we should do? Another thing. And it's just like, no. Don't
That's
do
my
it.
life.
It's also like 26 letters, 10 numbers.
Plus, if you want to do
There's a
uppers
lot
and
to it.
lowers.
Yeah, there's a lot to it.
And punctuation.
And punctuation. Yeah. But hey, this isn't about me. This is about Megan. Where can people find you?
So online on Instagram, Megan C Creates, and I'm also promoting a Kickstarter on there. So if you're a fan of cute pins, check it out.
I'm also dropping, hopefully it works, into chat. So if you would like to,
Oh.
Yeah, I think I did it. So there's the link to that if you'd like to support the adorable pins. And being Year of the Tiger myself, I will be supporting because what up, Year of the Tiger? Yeah.
Woo!
And that will now be my second Year of the Tiger themed thing that I have bought from you. So because I have
the link
your
works.
the Mars, the Sailor Moon keychains.
That's right. That's
I
right. You
can't
do.
word.
Yeah.
Ah.
I had to think about it. I'm like, what other Year of the Tiger thing?
What else have I done? I remember, Megan.
Thank you, Emily.
That's also a quote from a TV show from before these kids were born. So yeah, that's fine. All fine. Okay, let's talk Kristen Flower Sacks. Let's do
Flower
it.
sacks.
Yay!
So, got some varying emotions for flower sacks. And I will say that I did kind of get a little fun. Some of yours, specifically this guy down here, I saw you did a similar pose, and I was like, oh, that looks like fun. Just like the
Yes!
head flop over. So I kind of stole that pose from you, but it was really fun. And then flower sack booty. I don't know why.
I love
I have
it.
a thing with drawing the flower sack booties.
I mean, that's a
So-
nice butt. That's a nice flower sack butt.
Right? You know, flower, firm butt. And then obviously we did Uranus, Neptune,
Yes, the lips. I can't with the lips.
Sailor Moon, Tuxedo Mask, for some reason. I don't know. With the moon and the glowing stars behind, and then obviously Vegeta. Oh.
Yeah.
So thank you, Hebe, for the perfect pun for that. I would not have thought of that. So yeah, did not need to add color, but just for some reason, again, no consequence. Flower sacks, just fun.
No consequences.
Just no
Nope, I love it.
So those are my nice warm-ups, which is good because I have a lot more drawing to do today. So
Woohoo! Yay!
good
I'm
warm-up.
happy. And where can people see more of your artwork?
Probably mainly on Instagram, though I do hang out on Twitter and Tumblr. Still Tumblr. Kia or Kia Creations in all of those locations. So feel free to hit me up.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, I gotta be on the right screen. Do all the things. Yeah. All right. So here's my warm-ups. My funny different ones. Yeah. I just thought that pose was so funny. Just the full flop. And I got my little selfie flower sack who's feeling it. And just having fun with it. My my basic flower sacks. And then
Those need
the
to be
masterpiece. Again, did I need to color it? Did I need to spend that much time on it? Nope. But I wasn't gonna stop.
Make it a sticker. I want that sticker.
Exactly. Just like Jeff was saying earlier, I'm going to make it for the 4 people who it's going to matter to.
I'll be number 2 to buy it.
Now that I've done more Etsy stuff with stickers, like, and the sticker mule will be like, yeah, we'll give you, 10 stickers for $2. And I'm like, ha ha ha, you shouldn't have said that because now I'm going to make them. Yeah. Oh, it's good. I'm proud of this. I'm proud of this flower sack art that I've made. If you want to see more of my art, you can follow me across the internet at a Swan named Emily. There is not currently flower sack art available, but hey, hit me up. If you want to see more flower sacks, let me know. Also, to my patrons who are at the Sticker of the Month Club, look for this sticker coming out probably in the next 3 months. So enjoy that. Also, if you want to enjoy more Doodle Crew, we are at Doodle Crew Draw across the internet. That's where we lurk. That's where all of our art is posted. If you are making art and drawing along with us at home, please tweet at us, Instagram at us, do the things, tag us in stories, however all that works, you fancy techno kids. We'd love to see your art. We like knowing that people are drawing with us and having fun, so we super appreciate that. Also, head over to my YouTube if you want to watch any past episodes from season 1 or season 2, plus all of the amazing interviews that happened in the between season time. And we will be back at some point next Wednesday. There it is, the 10th. The 10th of November, we will be back. So look for us back then on this channel. And yeah, we love you all. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you later. Goodbye.